After a terrifying incident at Vaughn Foods on Thursday, September 25th, what do we know? We know Alton Alexander Nolen. He has regained consciousness and that investigators have interviewed him. Officials expect him to be moved to a jail and charged with first-degree murder and assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Nolen could also face federal charges. This stems from Thursday's event. Nolen, a Muslim convert who went by the name Yakim Yisrael on Facebook, is accused of beheading one coworker and slashing another with a knife Thursday afternoon at Vaughn Foods. Police say he became angry after being fired.
Received a call about 4:05 at Vaughn Foods, which is located at 216 Northeast 12th Street here in Moore, of an assault occurring inside the business. As officers were dispatched, it turned out they advised there was a stabbing and then gunshots. Officers arrived, treated it as a active shooter situation, secured the business where they found a female victim who was deceased, and a second victim who had also been stabbed, and then a third person who had been shot. Details of the incident: the suspect, Alton Nolen, 8/16 of 84, was an employee of Vaughn Foods. He had just been terminated, became angry, drove his vehicle, struck another vehicle, entered the main entrance of the business where he encountered the first victim, identified as Colleen Hufford, 1/5 of 60, began assaulting her and ultimately killing her with a knife and severing her head.
Shut the door.
Moore 911, where's your emergency?
Vaughn Foods, Moore, Oklahoma, 216 Northeast 12th Street.
What's going on there?
We have someone attacking someone in the building. I was just informed. I'm in the...
Okay, where are they at?
Inside. Are they in the office? They're in the office. Front office of the building.
Nolen then began assaulting the second victim, identified as Tracy Johnson, 6/17 of 71, with the same weapon. Shortly after that, Mark Vaughn, who is the COO of Vaughn Foods, confronted Nolen and shot him, stopping the assault on Tracy.
More police say due to the nature of the crime, the FBI has been called in to assist, and Friday night, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner issued a statement saying Hubbard's death was a homicide, the result of decapitation due to multiple sharp force trauma to the neck. Mark Vaughn is the former president of Vaughn Foods and continued as chief operating officer with the company after its 2011 sale to Oregon-based Reese's Fine Foods Incorporated. At its Moore plant, Vaughn Foods makes prepared chopped lettuce, coleslaw, salsa, and other chopped produce for distribution across the Midwest. Alton Nolen's mother and sister posted this video over the weekend, apologizing to the victims' families and offering their views.
This is, I would like to make a statement on behalf of my son, Alton Nolen. My heart is just so heavy right now. I know my son. My son was raised up in a loving home. My son was raised up believing in God. That's what he believed. My son was a good kid. You know, I know what they're saying that he done, but I'm going to tell you this. That's not my son. There's two sides to every story. And we're only hearing one. His family. Our hearts bleed right now. Because what they saying Alton has done. I want to apologize to both families because this is not Alton. But I'm praying that justice will prevail. The whole story will come out. The whole story.
Alton, my brother, he's always been a great person, a loving person. He's always been a people's person. He's never been a violent person. So for something like this to have happened, and we're all still in shock right now. We're all still in shock. We just ask that everyone out there pray for us.
Yes.
Keep us all in your prayers. We're praying for both of the victims' families
Yes.
and the victims, and we just ask that everyone keep us in their prayers. And thank you.
Court records show Nolen has 3 felony convictions. He was released from state custody on March 22, 2013. He completed a 6-year prison sentence for cocaine possession, a 2-year prison sentence for marijuana possession, and a 2-year prison sentence for assaulting a highway patrol trooper. He served only 2 years total in the prison system on those 3 felony cases. In the latest case, he pleaded guilty in 2011 to assaulting a highway patrol officer while fleeing arrest. That OHP officer, Betsy Randolph, says she feels guilty and angry when she thinks about the night she met Alton Nolen nearly 4 years ago. Randolph told CNN on Saturday, quote, "If there had been any way to know the things he's alleged to have done a few days ago, I would have killed him when I had a chance." The Corrections Department says Nolen had no misconduct records during his time in the Oklahoma prison system, and U.S. law enforcement officials say there are no indications linking Thursday's attack to terrorism. Meanwhile, senior leaders of a prominent Oklahoma City mosque say several people remember seeing Nolen at their house of worship and described him as being quiet, low-key, and odd. The Islamic Council of Oklahoma condemned Thursday's attacks, saying Oklahoma Muslims are shocked, horrified, and saddened about the loss of innocent life and the injuries.
I woke up in the morning watching the morning news and checking social media, and I saw this story develop from Moore, Oklahoma. My inner feelings would, nobody with the right mind would do such a heinous crime. Did not recognize the perpetrator, and I was saddened and heartbroken for the victims. After the story broke out, and talking to some members who might have said that they might have seen this person here who acted in a very odd way, for the most part, an odd way would be in a gesture that was not Islamic gesture, such as the way he prays and so on. Some people say that he identified himself as somebody from out of state searching for the truth and searching for spirituality, that he's been to many religious places, synagogues, churches, Buddhist temple, Hindu temples, trying to find God. Islam teaches that if you killed one person, is as if you have killed humanity. So indeed, this odd behavior it cannot be perpetrated by somebody who is normal. And therefore, if he claims to be Muslim or if he claims to follow the faith of Islam, he's as far away from it as he could be.